2019, the year that was. In the real world, we had plenty of drama, politics, even more politics.
But we aren't here to talk about any of that.
No, we're not. Because if 2019 taught us anything, it's that the real world is dumb. A world where Daniel LaRusso and Johnny Lawrence are real, where children's school fights rival Bruce Lee movies, is an infinitely better place to live.
With that in mind, we're here to talk about 2019, the year of Cobra Kai. And it was a great one. A lot of shows hit the sophomore slump with their second season, but Cobra Kai got both bigger and stronger. The pre-release promotion was something to behold, and the Dojo Wars marketing gave viewers something to invest themselves in months before the season even dropped.
Without a doubt, this was the year that we watched our little show explode globally. We went from Q&As with John Hurwitz featuring the same 15 to 20 people asking multiple questions, to so many people asking questions that not all of them get answered anymore. The size of the Cobra Kai fanfic archive on AO3 nearly doubled, and on fanfiction.net, where it didn't even have a category until we demanded they give us one, now has 60. Facebook groups went from a few dozen members to hundreds, or in some cases, thousands.
Trust quality of the groups, not quantity.
This is very good advice.
By the time Season 2 dropped, Season 1 had been watched 60 million times, which was an impressive feat. Season 2 blew that record out of the water, and it flew past 30 million views in less than 3 weeks. As of the date of this recording, Mercy Part 2 has been viewed nearly 52 million times, and Ace Degenerate is just shy of 80 million.
To say it's one of the most successful television shows of the digital streaming age would be an understatement. But somehow there are still people out there who not only haven't seen it, but who don't even know it exists.
Criminally underseen, as I always say.
So here is our look back on the year 2019 in Cobra Kai.
On January 11th, Cobra Kai Season 1 was awarded the Golden Tomato Award for Best TV Drama of 2018. As John Hurwitz said at the time, they like awards, and for this one, no tuxes or babysitters were required.
On January 12th, Hurwitz gave us our first Q&A of the new year.
Do you remember any of the questions?
I don't, but I'm sure mine had something to do with cars.
On January 25th, John Hurwitz informed us that all 10 episodes of Season 2 were almost completely locked.
And most of us had no idea what that meant.
But it sounded impressive, and it got us excited.
Let's be honest, everything gets us excited.
This is true.
I'm sure a lot of work happened behind the scenes in February, but the next big thing that happened in front of us was on February 22nd, when Entertainment Weekly released their first look at Season 2.
It was an interview with the Big Three, and it gave us our first photos from Season 2. One of Daniel, Sam, and Robbie, and one of Johnny, Miguel, and Hawk. These were from what we would come to learn was Valley Fest in Season 2, Episode 3.
Our first sighting of the ice blocks.
We thought he was going to break all 6.
I'm still not over that.
March is when things really started heating up. We still didn't have a trailer. We didn't even have a release date. And then on March 6th, we got a cryptic tweet from Cobra Kai series. Listen carefully, Cobra Kai fans. Tomorrow.
I didn't sleep for the next 24 hours.
Do you ever sleep?
Not really, no. But it did pay off, because on March 7th, we got a rapid-fire Twitter trivia game. 4 questions, 4 answers, 4 pieces of a puzzle that built the first Season 2 poster.
Remember the big gap between getting the second piece and the third, when Martin Code posted what we thought was the final image?
And there wasn't a date on it, so we started picking it apart.
The poster is red. R is the 18th letter of the alphabet, followed by E and D, which are 5 and 4 respectively, is going to be 185-4. Wait.
That day was so much fun. There were a few stops and starts and technical difficulties along the way, but we got our release date, April 24th.
And it was followed immediately by a USA Today article and the first teaser.
March 7th was a good day to be a Cobra Kai fan.
Every day is a good day to be a Cobra Kai fan.
Very true. So one of the things they did for Season 2 was schedule a bunch of sneak peeks along with different events that were going on. Most of these were just scenes, but on March 12th, attendees at South by Southwest in Texas got to watch the first 2 episodes in their entirety.
Lucky bastards. We all braced for the onslaught of spoilers that we expect to leak after that.
But we didn't get any. Not that I'm complaining, because I'd already decided to avoid them when possible, but looking back on it, I'm impressed at the restraint almost everyone exercised with these sneak peeks.
Almost everyone. There's always one or two who don't know how to keep their mouths shut.
But we don't like those people, so we don't talk about them.
And then, on March 21st, clips started coming out on YouTube. The first was, what type of cobra would you rather be?
I was so happy to see Johnny ripping into the boys over the tournament and so confused about what happened to the mirror.
But we were still just getting started.
On March 22nd, Cobra Kai took C2E2, and that day we got the double date kids party clip sneak peek. That one made me so happy I screamed and threw myself out of my chair.
How are your knees, by the way?
Still recovering. Concrete floors are hard.
That's what I hear. We went back to YouTube on March 27th for another clip. An OG from the Karate Kid makes a return. Mr. Miyagi, the drum.
I cried.
I think a lot of us did, including me. And then we dissected it.
As fans do. 3 days later, Cobra Kai went to WonderCon, and they got the cement truck sneak peek.
All the sneak peeks out of context challenged us to try to put them together to see if we can figure out what was going on across the season.
Some of us got pretty close on some of it. My theories weren't even on the same planet as where we ended up.
You were wrong.
I'm always wrong. No one should ever listen to me.
That same weekend, on March 31st, the Karate Kid 35th Anniversary Fathom event screenings began. We got a short Cobra Kai Karate Kid retrospective and the Daniel Sees Kreese for the first time sneak peek.
Some of us even had sound.
It was awesome to see the original movie on the big screen. It was my first time.
That takes us into April, and on April 4th, we finally got the full trailer.
Complete with spoiler warnings for the big three and multiple scenes from the last episode.
That may have been a questionable editing decision, but even with those in there, or maybe because they were in there, the collective fandom excitement level went off the charts.
It was pandemonium in the streets. Human sacrifices, dogs and cats living together, mass hysteria.
Wrong fandom.
Oh, yeah, right. Anyway, 4 days later, we got another YouTube clip. Original Snake is back and ready to strike. Our first non-sneak peek John Kreese sighting.
And Johnny telling him off, which made me happy and which I really hoped wasn't going to end up being reversed.
You were so naive.
I usually am, yes. On April 8th, we got another tweet from John Hurwitz showing us that the billboards had gone up on Sunset Boulevard.
As if we needed anything else to get us excited.
That close to release date, one of the big three sneezing would get us excited.
And make us try to figure out what it means.
We're kind of predictable.
And then on April 17th, a full 7 days before the release, someone pushed the wrong button, and the entire season was released on Twitter in GIF form.
Giftgate!
You call it that. Does anyone else?
I have no idea. But it's the closest thing we've ever had to a scandal. And nothing like a good old-fashioned gate to get people talking.
A bunch of GIFs being released 7 days early is a scandal?
Work with me here, Peter.
Okay. You got it. It was a scandal.
Speaking of scandal, that same day, we got an ESPN 30 for 30, tackling the decades-old debate. Was the crane kick legal? And who is the real Karate Kid?
Featuring appearances by most of the cast, plus the big three, in their roles as karate historians, the debate is lively, and they end up not really reaching a conclusion.
The conclusion is, it was legal, Daniel LaRusso won, he is the real Karate Kid, get over it.
And I think the referee has some part too. They should really question him. And when it comes to getting over it, just when we'd all gotten our plans in place for a release date on April 24th, they threw us a curveball.
Or a flying sidekick to the head.
Because on April 20th, it was announced that instead of during the day of April 24th, Season 2 would be released at midnight Eastern.
So half of us were going to get to see it a day before everyone else.
I don't think that's how time works. But yes, instead of having to wait for the day to arrive, a lot of us were going to be able to watch it on April 23rd, like me.
But before that, those of us who were lucky enough to attend Paley live, a number of people that does not include me, were able to see the first 2 episodes on April 22nd.
That also didn't include me. And Paley, it's kind of a big deal.
From what I understand, Paley's a huge deal. Paley Fest is the big one, but Paley Live was definitely something they didn't get with Season 1.
And that brings us to...
Drum roll, please.
Mr. Miyagi's drum?
Of course. What else would we use to roll into this?
Midnight Eastern on April 24th. 11 p.m. Central, 10 p.m. Mountain, and 9 p.m. Pacific. Season 2 dropped.
And for the next 5 hours, none of us moved.
Maybe cried. And for the next 5 days?
Weeks?
Months? Okay, maybe not that long, but it was pretty powerful stuff, and it drained us all pretty effectively.
It did. And after 364 days of waiting and dreaming and looking forward to season 2, we binged it in 5 hours and immediately realized we had another 364 days to wait, and we were going to have to go through it all over again. To help us out in the interim, on April 24th, they released the soundtrack, including the beautiful Carrie Kimmel cover of Cruel Summer.
Very beautiful. Then, on May 2nd, Season 3 announced Season 1 broke records, Season 2 strikes even harder, Season 3 coming in 2020.
On May 7th, Season 1 was released on iTunes, Vudu, Comcast, Amazon, and Google Play, marking the first time any release had occurred anywhere other than YouTube.
The following day, Jonas Never's Cobra Kai mural finished, and it was amazing.
It is incredible. On May 10th, John Hurwitz gave us the first mention of writing Season 3.
Just a few days later, on May 13th, Season 2 hit 30 million views.
And then we move away from Cobra Kai a little bit, but still in the realm, because on May 21st, we got an announcement of a 3-year deal between Sony Pictures Television and Counterbalance Entertainment.
And a few days later after that, on May 25th, the Big Three got a taste of what it felt like to be us, because we all found out that Kevin Smith is a Cobra Kai fan.
He is inarguably the biggest fan we could possibly have.
Mm-hmm.
And nerd brains exploded across Twitter. The next thing we had on June 12th, Enter the Dojo, the music of Cobra Kai live, with Zach and Leo and an appearance by Billy Zabka at the Whiskey A Go-Go.
Not too long after that, June 22nd, we had the 35th anniversary of The Karate Kid.
I never understood why they did the 35th anniversary screenings of the movie in April when it wasn't actually released until June.
Probably to help promote the upcoming Season 2.
That's true. It would be very difficult to promote Season 2 after the fact. On July 3rd, continuing with the onslaught of Cobra Kai, we got an announcement of an IDW comic book series.
What a way to bring in 4th of July.
Absolutely.
Nothing more American than that.
Absolutely not. And this time we're seeing the entire story from Johnny's point of view.
On July 12th, Cobra Kai was nominated for Teen Choice Awards Choice Summer TV Show.
They didn't win.
No.
They should have. And on July 16th, Hito Koda and Janelle Kerfman were nominated for their second Emmy for stunts.
Absolutely well deserved, and we'll leave it at that. On July 18th, at San Diego Comic-Con, Ralph Macchio announces, or teases rather, that Daniel is going to Okinawa.
I was so happy.
I think everyone lost their shit. Let's be honest.
Oh, yeah. The San Diego Comic-Con, the panels, the interviews, everything that came out that weekend, the photos, everything was so fun and so funny. And on top of that, they got interviewed by their biggest fan, Kevin Smith, on the IMDb boat.
It was great to see Kevin Smith geeking out with the cast on stage and the Big Three hiding on stage as well.
They were hiding in the back. On August 2nd, we got on YouTube something that was released at SDCC, which was the first outtake reel.
And it was amazing.
It was amazing.
A week later, Season 3 draft writing wrapped.
And I asked John Hurwitz approximately how many pages of script we had, and his answer was 360.
That sounds a lot.
It does sound a lot. I'm looking forward to it. On August 14th, to absolutely no fanfare, and actually members of the Big Three thinking it was a bootleg, Season 1 was released on Blu-ray in Australia.
And then a week later, on August 21st, we got our first glimpse of the Cobra Kai dojo, posted on Twitter and Instagram by John Hurwitz.
And little did we know that 2 weeks later, we would be standing in front of it.
Oh, gosh. Little did we know, indeed.
On August 29th, Season 1 was released for free on YouTube, and it was in front of the paywall for 2 weeks.
That was a chance to bring in new viewers without having to start up a free trial.
And with YouTube Premium going ad-supported in 2020, it was a good indication of what might be coming.
Absolutely. And then, on August 30th, Cobra Kai hit Dragon Con.
And so did we.
Absolutely.
And on September 3rd, principal photography on Season 3 began.
And everyone got excited.
Of course, as we always do.
On September 11th, Season 2 started being released for free, one episode at a time.
Despite having been pre-sold for 4 months, the amount of people who were incredibly confused about what was happening as one episode was released per week was mind-blowing.
Yeah, and people still weren't jumping on the boat just yet.
Not yet. On September 17th, we got the announcement of something we had been asking for since May of 2018, a physical release in the United States, a DVD box set with beautiful cover art, deleted scenes, and a free headband.
That was reversible, so you can choose your own dojo.
And the cover art was beautiful.
The incredible art by Jonas Never. On September 27th, the fandom was hit pretty hard. The passing of Rob Garrison. For most, this was the first time a member from the universe had passed away.
It was definitely an incredibly emotional day for the fandom, and I can't even imagine what it felt like to the people who knew and worked with him. On October 2nd, we got another announcement of movement in Counterbalance as Obliterated, a show that's been described as 24 meets The Hangover meets Die Hard, was announced in conjunction with TBS.
I wonder if it's going to be considered a Christmas TV show. A week later, on October 9th, the first issue of Cobra Kai, the Karate Kid Saga Continued comic book, was released.
It hit shelves, it hit mailboxes, and I am a horrible fan because I still haven't read mine.
And there was a few different covers to choose from.
I think on that first issue, there were 7 or 8 different covers when you count all the convention exclusives that came out for it, too.
You're probably right.
It's definitely going to keep the collectors busy. On October 26th, John Hurwitz announced that all 10 episodes of Season 3 had been written and polished. The first 6 episodes were filmed, 7 and 8 were being filmed, and the first 4 were being edited.
On October 30th, Ace Degenerate named to Paste Magazine's list of top 15 pilots of the decade.
It ended up on a lot of best of lists in 2019. Best of the year, best of the decade, some the best of the century.
Yet is still criminally underseen.
Absolutely. On November 11th, Season 2 was released on iTunes, Amazon's Vudu, and Google Play. Again, with absolutely no marketing, promotion, or pre-sale.
And then the following day, on November 12th, the DVD box set was released. And if you didn't get it that day in the mail, we all ran to the stores to pick it up in person.
And some people who knew it was coming in the mail went to the stores because they didn't want to wait.
I might have been one of those.
On November 17th, Martin Kove tweeted that he was done with his filming for Season 3.
And then the following day, on November 18th, there was an announcement of an untitled workplace comedy deal for Counterbalance with Scott Eckert and Fox.
All of these new shows coming out have me so excited that I'm going to have something to watch other than Cobra Kai, but at the same time, I'm worried how I'm going to fit them in.
And thank goodness for streaming.
Absolutely. On November 22nd, Ralph Macchio tweeted that he was done with principal photography for Season 3.
These guys are pretty deliberate with their choice of words. I don't know what that means, but I'm excited.
It leaves open the option for Daniel to have been filming scenes after that.
That same day, John Hurwitz tweeted that they would be wrapped in Atlanta by sunrise the next morning.
And the photos that he posted of himself backlit by the overhead lights, it's one of the most incredible photos I think he's ever posted. It's beautiful.
And not to take anything away from that photo, but since we've gotten very little of the behind the scenes this season, anything released got us extremely excited.
Oh, absolutely. And we won't even get into why we didn't get any more behind the scenes photos this season. On November 24th, after a bonus shoot with the stunt team, principal photography on Season 3 officially wrapped in Atlanta.
We might have met some of those stunt team in person.
We may have.
On November 26th, William Zabka tweets that he is done with production on Season 3.
His was a bit more straightforward and didn't really leave much open.
Maybe he was hacked.
It's possible. On December 3rd, Hayden Schlossberg posted a picture of a flight path from Osaka, Japan to Okinawa. So we assume Hayden Schlossberg flew to Okinawa. Who else was with him? We have no idea. Did he really go? because this is Hayden, and we honestly never know if he's telling us the truth or not. We can assume he did, because on December 5th, he posted a picture of a shoot in Okinawa.
On December 6th, John Hurwitz tweeted that Season 3 is officially wrapped. The first 9 episodes almost fully edited, and Episode 10 is the most ambitious they've ever attempted. And coming after the hallway hellscape at the end of Season 2, that's pretty ambitious.
I don't know whether to be excited or terrified.
Maybe a little bit of both.
Absolutely. I think that we have learned, if we've learned anything, it's that we can always lean into both excitement and terror when it comes to this show.
On December 12th, Hayden Schlossberg confirms to me that he did in fact fly to Okinawa.
Which, to be honest, even though he confirmed it to your face, we still really don't know.
You know what? You got me there.
Because he did tell you to your face that the rock in the backyard says, "Here's lies Sato."
Okay, maybe you take this part out.
On December 19th, the 35th anniversary of the 1984 All-Valley Tournament, John Hurwitz and Hayden Schlossberg both said they had seen the Season 3 finale the night before. And from December 20th until now, this is where we are. Season 3 has been filmed. It's being edited. And looking back over everything that happened as far as television shows go, I think it was a pretty good year.
Absolutely. I really think it was. Looking back over the year, how many Q&As did John Hurwitz do on Twitter? 24.
And how many times did someone let Hayden Schlossberg loose on Twitter? 2.
They really need to keep the phone away from him.
Well, these little impromptu Q&As are where we find out about things like sequined geese and hospital fights.
Right, and black and white episodes and possibly musical numbers.
Absolutely. We wouldn't know about any of those if not for Hayden.
So looking back, what else has happened, specifically for Cobra Kai Kompanion? You started appearing on our episodes and having a segment of your own in the episode reviews.
I did. John Hurwitz accidentally gave me a Q&A for my birthday.
Also, there was a lot of sharing of posters, sometimes even stealing.
There was quite a bit of that. There was this accidental viral thing that I still am kind of reeling from. I met Ralph Macchio for the first time after 35 years of, as Dimitri would call it, admiration from afar.
While it was a cruel summer for many, we couldn't stop playing that Kari Kimmel version of Cruel Summer.
I experienced true fandom FOMO for the first time the weekend of San Diego Comic-Con.
As did I.
As did everyone.
And you had a pretty big event as well by flying on your very first flight.
My very first trip on an airplane. I will say it was to meet you, but you know who that was really about, right?
Me. You just said it.
Absolutely.
But we got to go visit the sets of Cobra Kai.
Almost got tasered for looking at a car.
Got to see both dojos.
And got to meet
Hayden Schlossberg.
Highlight of the trip by far.
Who was very gracious in giving us a tour of the sets. And also we met stunt coordinator Hiro Koda.
Missed the kids by 10 minutes.
So you're saying there was a chance?
No, I don't think there was ever a chance.
Yeah, you're probably right about that. But what an incredible day. And that was just at the set. We also coordinated a meetup during Dragon Con that weekend.
Got to meet a whole lot of the cast and their moms.
Absolutely.
I became a regular member of the cast of the Kompanion.
For me, on a family trip to Disneyland, another accidental meeting ran into Mary Mauser and Julia Macchio. Very lovely young women.
And the intentional part of your trip, you met?
The big three were, in this case, John Hurwitz and Hayden Schlossberg. It was Josh Heald's birthday. He wasn't able to make it.
A meeting 2/3 of the big three is still 1/3 more than I've been able to meet.
It's a pretty good percentage if you ask me.
Show off. So there it is. That is 2019 in Cobra Kai and briefly in Cobra Kai Kompanion. What do you think 2020 is going to give us, Peter?
I don't know. This was an incredibly big year. Some of these things, people say lightning doesn't strike twice. Cobra Kai proved us wrong. But in terms of the things that we did, the things that happened for us, that's hard to duplicate.
You don't get very many years like this in fandom. It's been one of the most incredible, no, not one of. It has been the most incredible year in my fandom life.
There's going to be many, many people that will never experience what we got to experience. And I think that proves hard work does pay off.
So does luck.
just a little bit of luck.
So it is with enormous gratitude for the year 2019 and no pressure whatsoever to deliver on the year of 2020.
And to the big three, just a huge thank you. Not from me and Brihana, not from just our little group that could, but from everybody, everyone who has watched the show. We thank you for everything that you've given us. And as I like to say, you're pretty okay too.
They're pretty okay.